This is part 3, episode 197. With the rumors of my death, they begin to test the waters. Luo Feng sighed. This is the character of man. Your family relies on you to support them. The moment you fall, your family's strength will naturally suffer. Tru Yang sipped his wine. Shaking his head, he said, my Ka Hansai race relies on me too. Even with me alive, because I don't normally interfere with the eight-man affairs, my race would still be bullied. If you don't teach them a good lesson, they will always find ways to step over you. Luo Feng nodded. The city leader told me before as well, asking me to pass the Sector Lord Primal Region Sky Mountain to show off my strength and scare everybody. What the city leader said makes sense. Tru Yang nodded, after which he added shocked, you can pass the Primal Region Sky Mountain. Should be. Luo Feng nodded. That requires law comprehension of level 20. Tru Yang said. Luo Feng smiled. Ha ha, good little punk. Tru Yang couldn't help but say, you've only trained for such a short time and yet you've already caught up with your third senior. Well, I am a genius. Luo Feng said shamelessly. Ha ha, when you get to Primal Chaos City, you have to buy me some good wine. Tru Yang said. But of course. Luo Feng said carefree. Passing the Sky Mountain gives 100 billion points. The little bit you will spend on wine would mean nothing to you. Tru Yang laughed loudly. Even though they were simply jesting and joking. Deep within, Luo Feng was still pondering over the matter with Jian Ta, thinking about how to deal with him. As for passing the Sky Mountain, he wasn't in a rush to do it yet. When he had fully settled things in the outer region and returned, it wouldn't be too late to attempt it then. As for Jian Ta Emperor, he had to settle it immediately. Even though Jian Ta's actions were considered controlled, without any killings, this was a start to bullying the Luo family. The moment such a thing began, it was best to get rid of it immediately, letting the other families know the heavy consequences of messing with the Luo family. Luo Feng chatted and drank with his teacher. With their strength and position close to each other, they naturally got closer. However, he didn't dare to do so with the Primal Chaos City leader or the Sitting Mountain guest. He had no way to be that friendly with them. And the city leader or the Great Being couldn't possibly be that way with him either. Luo Feng, there's mail. Barbata alerted him on his shoulder, it's Jian Ta. The mail has come. Luo Feng's gaze focused. His son Luo Ping and wife Shuxin had said before that Jian Ta had tried to contact him before but he never once got a mail from Jian Ta. He gently tapped the screen and the mail appeared. Tru Yang sitting opposite lifted his wine glass and asked, what did Jian Ta say? He said. Luo Feng smiled, he will personally come to my residence in 9-Star Bay to plead for his crimes. He's actually willing to do such a thing. Tru Yang mocked. Looks like it's clear that this concerns his life. In the outer region wars, it was forbidden to kill allies of the same camp. However, within humanity outside the wars, there was no such army system regulation. It was normal for warriors to kill each other from grudges and fights, and the upper echelons hardly ever bothered. Their management attitude was very simple. It was fine with little killings within, however if another race had invaded to kill humans within, they would completely react. As for humans heading to the outer region wars to battle other races, they had to be completely united. Attitude alone is not enough. Luo Feng lifted his wine glass. Teacher, I'll finish this wine with you before heading back, it wouldn't be too late then. Let him suffer a little. Tru Yang lifted his wine glass too. Pa. They knocked glasses and continued chatting. After a while, only when the wine was finished, did he leave. Virtual Universe, Black Dragon Mountain, 9-Star Bay. The family leader is currently not here, you can return another time Jian Ta Emperor. Or you can wait here. No rush, I'll wait here. Then I'll be leaving. Within a pavilion specially used for guests, over 8 m tall, a gold-armored giant with an elephant nose sat there. Luo Feng's guest areas were separated by levels too. This one was for normal guests to rest. Letting an emperor rest here was considered an insult. Looks like Luo Feng is pretty angry with me. Jian Ta sniffed the air, as his eyes were filled with worry. Without his order, how could the Luo family dare treat an undying like that? What's more, I'm an emperor, with no staff to wait on me and only a slave to guide me over, and this is a very normal place. Even the tea is cold. Wait. I have to wait for Luo Feng to appear. He lifted his cold tea and slowly sipped, seemingly unaffected by the environment and treatment. The upper echelon of the Luo family had gathered within the mansion. Jiantar is here? He's been put in the tea pavilion? Gongxinla couldn't help but worry. That is after all an emperor, we cannot treat him so badly. Mum. Xu smiled, no problem, this is what Luo Feng personally instructed us to do. Ah, I don't quite understand. Gongxinlan nodded, sighing. I just feel that an emperor is a huge being. Our Ganwu universe country leader doesn't even have an emperor under him. He isn't even complaining about being placed there. Luo Ping laughed. Because. A voice resounded as someone walked in. It was Luo Feng. He doesn't wish to die. Dad. Luo Ping and Luo Hai stood up. You are back. Xu walked over as well. Brother. Luo Hua shouted happily. Luo Feng nodded, looking at his parents. Dad, Mum. It's good you are back. The two of them nodded. I'm going to deal with Jian Ta. We'll have a reunion dinner later. Luo Feng said. After leaving for so long, he respected the Chinese Mid-Autumn Festival even more than before. Because, whenever he trained, it would go for at least a few decades. Hence every time he returned, it was a good time for a reunion. Go on. Go on. They all said, after all, against an emperor, just their formless pressure alone could make normal people below undying level submit. Unless they had heavenly willpower and consciousness strength. As for Luo Feng, his willpower alone exceeded that of many knights, and he was the leader of the Earth race, having survived the life or death inheritance. The cold tea with bad scenery, without any staff. Jian Ta sat there slowly waiting. A silhouette walked over from afar. This made Jian Ta look over. He immediately smiled and stood up, standing at the entrance to welcome Luo Feng in. Only when Luo Feng got close did he bow. Your Majesty Luo Feng, this whole incident has been a blemish on the Luo Sai family side. I'm here to apologize humbly. Apologize? Luo Feng glanced at him. Meeting a warrior of such caliber in the outer region wars, Luo Feng could easily settle him in one blow. Back then he was already capable of acquiring an emperor limit as a slave. With his strength which was even more powerful now, and his perspectives higher than before, even 7-blade or Da long, those absolute warriors that had names spread through the trillions of races. Luo Feng didn't even fear them. As for this little Jian Ta. What was he? Jian Ta said, Your Majesty Luo Feng, I personally came to seek forgiveness, but let me state one thing. Speak. Luo Feng had sat on the stone chair. I believe that you are clear too that I founded the family a long time ago and have been immersed in my training, hence I don't manage a lot of the family matters. He said. Any family usually has its own managers. And the true founder usually sticks to his training and hardly meddles in the affairs. Right now, my 7th-generation grandson is the one that manages the family. He is quite strong and has some management ability. He's a normal undying. Jian Ta said, back then, when my family had some issues with yours, when it got blown up, the negotiating team and everything were all arranged by him. He hid everything from me. Jian Ta shook his head and sighed. When you appeared and spoke out, you immediately scared the entire family. Only then did one of my descendants actually send a mail to me and ask me on how to settle this. I only found out then that they actually dared offend your Majesty's family. I was immediately shocked. That scum actually offended your family. Is he trying to destroy the entire Luo Sai family? I teleported via God Country over immediately. When I saw him, he just looked at me, smiling peculiarly before self-destructing. He said. Luo Feng sat quietly and listened. Are you done? Luo Feng looked at him. Your Majesty, I wasn't strict with my management of my family and this resulted. However, this matter, I just became an emperor, I wouldn't have the guts to come offend your Majesty. Tian said. You are maligned. Luo Feng looked at him. I am guilty, but this wasn't instructed by me. He said. I know too that there are many other races searching for you, and as a small little emperor, I wouldn't dare act like that. Even if those other races had planted spies within my family, they probably wouldn't dare use them. However, controlling a normal undying in my family and using him to check up on your family, this has little cost to them. But no matter what, I am still guilty. I am here to plead for forgiveness. He flipped his hand and respectfully placed a list of items on the stone table. Luo Feng glanced at it. It was a list on all sorts items to amend the dispute. It was considered generous enough. HMPH. Luo Feng however snorted coldly at him, You done? He was shocked, saying, Please speak your majesty. I don't care what happens within your Luo Sai family, this has nothing to do with me. Luo Feng gazed coldly at him. I only know that your Luo Sai family has offended my family, don't blame me and say I didn't give you a way to live. The universe always gives a chance of survival, I'm giving you a chance too, agree to it, and you'll survive. Luo Feng tossed something out coldly. He had also prepared a list earlier. Jian Ta was pale as he heard those words from Luo Feng. As he gazed through the list, he stared wide-eyed. Have you seen it clearly? Luo Feng looked at him. Jian Ta was huge, standing beside Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked like a little child. However, this absolute warrior of the Gold Mist Universe country was in a flurry. He had read through the list clearly and he was stunned. He had no sense of resistance, only remorse. I've seen it, Your Majesty. Luo Feng, I? Jian Ta was stuttering. The list had 3 simple requests. The first one was that all of the Luo Sai family's business and assets, 99% of it would be transferred to the Luo family, leaving only 1% for themselves. This was to be arranged within half a day for the transaction. The second one was that the members involved in the scuffle between the families were to be sent to the Luo family to be dealt with. The third request is the cash of 1 billion mixed elements as compensation. Even if you lose your family's 99% of assets, at least you still have 1% to survive. Luo Feng looked at him. And I only want the members involved. Without these scum, it's actually beneficial to your family. As for the 1 billion mixed elements, a low emperor like you should be able to afford it. My 3 requirements all have some leeway. Since I haven't forced you too much, it's already considered me showing you kindness. Luo Feng said. Jian Ta was about to cry. Kindness? My God! 99% of his family's assets, the huge amount of assets accumulated over the countless years, were to be instantly transferred over, leaving a pitiful amount. Your Majesty Luo Feng, I am only a low emperor. Many pinnacle officials' entire wealth doesn't even add up to 100 million mixed elements. I'm only slightly stronger, and even if I sell all my treasures, it'll be hard to cough up so much. Jian Ta looked urgently at Luo Feng, begging, whatever you've requested, I will naturally do my best, but I simply cannot. Luo Feng looked coldly at him. Jian Ta went completely silent from the look. Remember, Luo Feng said coldly, these 3 requirements, you have to do all of them before this matter will be considered resolved. If you don't, you know the consequences. Jian Ta was dripping with cold sweat. Understood. He nodded. Go on, I'll give you 7 days to accumulate the 1 billion. As for the transfer of assets, you have half a day. Luo Feng waved his hand. Yes. Even though he lamented within, he had no choice but to leave obediently. Luo Feng watched his bleak silhouette leave. Within he laughed coldly. After being in the outer region wars for so long, he was very clear on a low emperor's wealth. Even though there were some low emperors that probably couldn't cough up so much, Jian Ta was the disciple of a knight. To become a disciple of a knight, how could the knight not leave any treasures for him? Coughing up 1 billion shouldn't be too hard. Virtual universe, Gold Mist continent within the Luo Sai family's luxurious villa. There was silence within. Chen sat alone in his throne, and his expression was dark. Within he burned with rage, and was incredibly regretful. Back then I shouldn't have been greedy, ordering my underlings to act that way. I only got 100 million mixed elements in benefits, and now I have to pay so much for it. This Luo Feng sure is vicious. This gamble was a failure. He cursed within. When Luo Feng vanished, there were already rumors of him falling. They only spread a little initially. Later on, when there was movement within the Luo family, only then did people truly begin to suspect that he had fallen. To check on this, one could invade the Luo family by placing spies and using all sorts of methods. There was one that used 100 million mixed elements to get the Luo Sai family to check on the Luo family. After all, Chen controlled the entire family, having conflict with the Luo family. How could this entire thing be controlled by his 7th-generation descendant? Chen was behind it all along. And he didn't dare offend Luo Feng. He simply had to let an errand boy do the deed, by checking on the Luo family and easily getting 100 million, why not? If Luo Feng had truly fallen, this would have been easy money. If he hadn't fallen, Luo Feng wouldn't have come killed him over this. What's more, he hadn't shown himself all this while. Hence, he used his 7th-generation descendant as a front, ordering from the shadows. Family leader. Family leader. Over 100 upper echelon of the Luo Sai family knelt down respectfully within the hall, their voice resounding within. Chen expression was ugly as he looked at them, thinking, that Luo Feng sure is vicious. It's clear that if he forced me into a corner I would flee to my teacher's side. After all, even though it may seem like a small problem from the surface, he has no power to force my teacher to hand me over. He wouldn't dare offend a knight easily. Right now, he's only pushing me to my limit, not killing me, but pushing. 99% of my family assets will be possessed, seemingly kind enough to leave 1%. I'd rather he take all of the assets than have to fork out the 1 billion. He cursed. The largest assets of a family was the huge amount of wealth and the strongest warrior. Just like Luo Feng having a huge amount of wealth, bigger than the entire Luo family. The hall was silent. The upper echelon of the family all knelt there. Chen simply gazed coldly, his killing intent rising. Swiftly organize a team to head to Black Dragon Mountain Island's 9-star bay, go to the Luo family and transfer 99% of the Luo Sai family assets to their family. He said solemnly, yet it was like a heavy hammer hitting all their chests. They were all stunned. What? 99%? Why doesn't he just steal it? He is going overboard. They were all worried. Chen roared fiercely, "Shut up!" They all went silent again. When the feud began, why didn't any of you stop it? And no one told me a thing? He roared at all of them below. They all muttered within that no one would dare stop it back then, and there were 2 among them that had contacted Chen before, but he had shut off his virtual universe network connection. They couldn't reach him. Hurry and form the team. He roared. Yes. The feud between the families was actually being observed secretly by someone, when Chen gave out the orders to his upper echelon and roared. The news of this had spread within half an hour. The Luo Sai family has submitted. Look, Luo Feng is returning. 99% of the family assets? That's probably just one of the requirements. Luo Feng sure is vicious. The entire Luo Sai family probably has to migrate. This is a slap to the face. Chen has no more pride left. Ha ha ha, this Luo Feng sure is soft and kind. He didn't even kill anybody. If it were me, I'd have killed Chen immediately. Brother, Chen may be hiding with Gold Mist Knight. Killing him won't be easy. Elder, the Luo Sai family is one of the strongest families in the entire universe country, and yet they are just going to disappear like that? They control so many star fields and countless planets. Is it just over? Right, it's over. Then. Child, remember. The most important thing of a family is its absolute warriors. Like those middle-level civilizations, they normally only have one normal undying. If the undying falls, the country would naturally fall. And the super families, even Chen has to bow to them. they naturally have to sacrifice much to survive. Elder, looks like business and everything else is secondary, strength is the most absolute. Right, whether it's humanity or the countless other races, it's simple, the strong eat the weak. Our humanity is powerful and has countless resources and treasures. Even if the weaker races acquire some treasures, they would be snatched away. Hence, child, you have to work hard. A family with 2 absolute warriors would have higher chances of surviving. Yes, Elder. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The huge number of star fields, countless planets, countless companies and assets were all transferred to the Luo family. This news was immediately known by many super families about. As time flowed, it created a huge wave, as the empires, families and organizations all began to know about it too. They all felt that Luo Feng's tyranny and that his family wasn't one to be messed with. Dad, I respect you. Dad. Uncle. Uncle. In 9-Star Bay, Luo Feng's family all gathered, including his brother Luo Hua and his wife and kids. Luo Hua only had 1 wife currently, yet he had 9 kids. After all, he didn't explore the universe like his brother, he naturally stayed in the family longer and had more children. The large table was bustling. Ha ha. Luo Feng stood up, laughing as he chatted and sipped wine. Ahua, I haven't seen you for so many years, you've gotten a few more kids. Luo Feng laughed at the group of youths. You disappeared for 6,000 years. Luo Hua laughed as well. Shushin glanced at Luo Feng. Luo Feng was stunned. Damn. It was his fault now for not paying enough attention to his wife. However, he was now a sector lord. The stronger he got, the harder it got to have children. And Shushin's physique had changed, she would probably never bear children again. The family ate happily and soon enough, the kids all left. Luo Feng and Shushin chatted quietly. Shushin, the family requires a strong warrior to defend the family too. I'm preparing some undying plants. He said. Shushin stared at him. Who knows how long we have to wait for you? Didn't you leave 50 billion mixed elements for the family before? The family has already discussed and decided on taking out a portion to nurture the current Sector Lord Level 9 Cloud Contact Vines and Star-Eating Plant, making 3 of them to Undying. Then we'll have official level strength. Luo Feng was stunned. All right. He laughed and nodded. With regards to the family's safety, when I return from the outer region wars, I'll arrange again. I've stayed here long enough, I'll devote my time to settling the outer region war affairs. Go on, your work is important. Shushin said. Luo Feng smiled. He had spent a total of 3 days with his family this time, mainly to make up for the lost time. As to settling Chen Emperor? 6,000 years had passed. Hence, 3 days was nothing. All right, I'll return when I'm done. He kissed his wife and smiled, vanishing as his consciousness left the virtual universe. Outer region wars, within the ancient star tower. Within a palace. Luo Feng had given an order via the virtual universe to Heavy Arrow, sense my location and teleport via God Country over. In a few seconds, a blurry light filled the palace and the space rippled. A silhouette appeared. It was the masked, tall and skinny Heavy Arrow. He immediately bowed at the sight of Luo Feng. Greetings, Master. HM. Luo Feng nodded. Simultaneously, he felt the thoughts of the Star Tower. Should we kill this intruder? This was considered the core of the tower, and it forbade any intruders. The moment one entered, it could engage its own defenses to kill the intruder. As for the forbidden spaces, it was free for countless warriors to enter. No. Luo Feng communicated back. The Star Tower was one of the strongest treasures in the universe. A weapon, however, was after all just a weapon. Its intellect was low. Its calculation speed may match up to an AI, but its emotional intelligence was that of a 2- or 3-year-old child. Back then, Chen's matter, did he reveal himself? Luo Feng asked. Master, he didn't. Heavy Arrow said respectfully. If you didn't warn me, I wouldn't even have discovered that he was so scheming. Only when I observed him carefully did I discover that something was amiss with Chu Wu Emperor's death. And after his death, I fled immediately. The demon camp actually pushed towards me, leaving my side with only Chen. In theory, he was supposed to die, yet he managed to survive. HM. Luo Feng nodded. This was also within his expectations. Judging from his own interaction with Chen, this person was careful. Even when he had plans to kill Luo Feng, he didn't act until the final moment. If not for Luo Feng's strong willpower against illusions, Chen may have succeeded. Star Tower. Luo Feng ordered, search for a human undying. The many sealed stars revolved within the palace. Luo Feng sat cross-legged and communicated with the tower. Heavy Arrow stood beside him respectfully. There are a total of 359 human undyings in the tower. The information poured into his mind, images appearing as the many human warriors' battles, training, and chats with allies appeared. These were all humans. Even though there were hundreds of thousands of undyings, there were few real humans within. He quickly scanned through all of them. No Chen. He frowned. Star Tower, scan carefully if there's this person on my arm screen. An image of Chen appeared on his arm. There's no such person. He left 1,800 years ago. Star Tower communicated. He's already left. Luo Feng stared wide-eyed and stood up suddenly. Master. Heavy Arrow took a step forward and asked, are we going to deal with Chen? He's not in the tower now. Luo Feng shook his head. This was now his battlefield, and he had a huge advantage. However, as the life or death inheritance had taken over 6,000 years, many of the warriors normally only explored the outer region wars for up to 10,000 years. It was normal that Chen had left. Who knows if he's still in the outer region wars? Has he returned to humanity? Luo Feng shook his head, his eyes gleaming. Very good, if you've left, that would be even better. I'll still kill you. Master, what's our next move? Heavy Arrow asked. Don't get anxious. He smiled. He is after all a member of the Hong Alliance. I know many friends that are his too. Even though I cannot contact him directly, through his friends, it'll be easy to find him. Then I'll be able to make my move. However, before that, I still have something to do. Heavy Arrow was curious. Luo Feng turned to look outside. The vast sealed stars were revolving. I need to get more soul slaves. Asterisk. He was the master of the tower. Even though he couldn't trigger the entire tower, he still had a huge advantage. Using the tower, he could clearly know the hundreds of thousands of undyings' locations and which forbidden spaces they were in. He was even able to send himself there. As long as I want to, I can pick any battle to join. And no exits will ever appear unless I will it too. Be it a day, 10 days, or a month. As such, how can anything go wrong? His eyes gleamed with ambition. Having allies and slaves was extremely important in the universe. And to get a large number of slaves was a hard thing to do. One had to meet someone he could deal with and make him unable to flee, and soul control was something a soul master was best at, and these masters were extremely rare. Other than that, there was only one more stupid way to go about it. Force them into a coma and control them after. However, this method had its own weakness. Forcing the enemy into a coma? The enemy might sense the danger and self-destruct. Also, if he went slightly overboard, he could very likely kill the enemy instead. Secondly, even if he succeeded, controlling a comatose undying would require him to wait a long time for the undying to awaken and recover. Using treasures could help speed things up, but the costs were high. In all, controlling a powerful undying slave required one to have strength close to or stronger, and it was still an extremely hard thing to do. Normally, only the masters of soul attacks had higher proficiency. In the universe, who could so easily meet so many warriors? And who had such power to easily pick whoever they wanted? I have full control. It just depends on whether I have the ability to control them. Luo Feng communicated with the Star Tower and began to search for some absolute warriors. The targets were naturally Emperor limits. With his current strength, dealing with Life-Fall Emperor or Seven Blade would still be extremely hard. As for Pinnacle Emperors? Luo Feng didn't care about them, unless it was a Pinnacle Emperor Soul Master. Hence he set his targets as Emperor Limits and Emperor Pinnacle Soul Masters. Him. Luo Feng smiled. Demon Camp, CIYA Race, Black Crow Emperor, Emperor Pinnacle Soul Master will be my first target. There were countless forbidden spaces within the Star Tower. Within a particular one, wild winds howled as snow fell. Amidst the snow, 3 blurry silhouettes sat cross-legged within. My luck sure is bad, that High Emperor Human earlier was about to be killed, yet at the last moment he managed to flee from Black Crow's control. A turtle-like creature howled, its blood-red eyes filled with ferocity. Damn! Another similar life form howled. The 2 of them were from the far reaches of the universe, and they had temporarily joined the Demon Camp's Jiao race. They were a tone life form. These 2 Emperor Pinnacles had a similarity with that race. Their defenses were very strong. Very few of them joined the Outer Region Wars, and the number of Emperors were even few. Within Star Tower, there were only 3 Emperors, and they became known as the CIYA brothers. We must have patience. A hoarse voice resounded. It was a black-furred bird-like creature with jade-green eyes. He was Black Crow Emperor, the leader of this team. There are hundreds of thousands of Undyings here. We will have a chance. With patience, our hunt will succeed. The 2 CIYA warriors howled in agreement. Black Crow suddenly turned to the distance. The 2 cross-legged creatures beside turned too. A space slit had appeared. I was right. With patience, look, a prey has come. Black Crow said hoarsely. GU. The 2 CIYA warriors howled with excitement, their eyes gleaming as they looked on. Even though they were filled with killing intent, without seeing their target, they didn't dare make a move. It might be another Demon Camp warrior or someone stronger than them. A silhouette appeared amidst the snow. Black Crow and the brothers looked over carefully. The silhouette seemed human, with silver wings and armor. He floated in mid-air. It's a human. The brothers howled. Blade River Emperor. Black Crow's expression changed, as Blade River's name was well known. Even though it made them go on alert, but it was not enough to scare them off. Ha ha, I actually bumped into Black Crow. The youth stood in mid-air and laughed, shaking the space about. Blade River. Black Crow's laughter resounded. Where's your slave Heavy Arrow? Call him out. A silhouette appeared beside. It was the masked Heavy Arrow. This made Black Crow's laughter grow even more piercing. Ha ha ha, very good human Blade River Emperor. If I kill you, that's a huge windfall. He secretly ordered 2 brothers, I'll rely on you to hold up Heavy Arrow while I deal with Blade River. Relax, even though we aren't a match for Heavy Arrow, we can still definitely hold him for a while. The 2 brothers were very confident. Killing intent rose from both sides. Heavy Arrow stood respectfully beside Luo Feng. Luo Feng, however, smiled at the scene. He had to pick a team that was close to him in strength. Otherwise, anyone else would have fled after seeing Heavy Arrow. Let's see the power of the star map. With a flip of his left hand, the star map appeared. There were visible star imprints within, and 6 black balls were floating within, after which they floated onto his palm. This video will end here.